The third step that we focus on after we've got free organic lead generation and we know that we've got our sales script perfected, we're getting at least 25% to purchase or 30% on a sales rate. The third thing that we do is massive growth, massive scale through paid ads. And I'm going to give you a sneak peek here to one of the accounts that we were using. And we were doing two things. We were doing recruiting for new insurance agents coming in the door. And then we were building ads for other agents so that we can do lead generation for them, as well as doing lead generation for ourselves. And I'm going to have fun with this video here and go down to what it actually looks like to start something for the first time and the lessons that you have to learn running 100+ campaigns, spending almost $80,000 a year. What are all the different lessons that you can learn from it? So hopefully you don't have to go repeat those lessons and learn the same mistakes that we did. What we focused on in the beginning with recruiting, you'll notice some of these Formula 100s. So we were running ads for the company that's using the Formula 100 system. And what we were able to accomplish was getting $20 leads to come in the door and actually be recruited to be part of the sales team. And we ran another campaign for a second person here, and we were able to beat our first attempt down to $17. And we ran an additional campaign, a third one for ourselves, and we were able to get it down to about $14. Now, the second thing that we were able to do out of this is because this is warm inbound leads coming right in the door, we were able to book consistently 1 out of 4 leads was an instant appointment, and then 1 out of 3 leads was a total appointment in the first 30 days. So out of these 245 leads that came in, 1 out of 4, so those 61 people booked an appointment within the first 5 minutes. But by the end of the 30 days, we had 81 booked appointments within that month, right? So we're looking at what was the average return on those 81 people at the end of the 30 days. And then obviously, you know how profitable it is if you've got an insurance agent coming in the door and they're writing good business and they're making sales. So on average, an insurance agent is going to make a little over $60,000 a year, and we're always trying to push to make about 100,000 a year. So even if you look at the 81 people at 60,000, that was a net positive of about $4.8 million in annual premiums. But as the upline, you're only going to see about 15% of that. So we were able to make a substantial profit off of doing this because this was the override that we got on the upline. And that was well worth the $3,000 investment to get in the door. So the second phase of this is how to build an ad directly for your clients to come see you. And the way that we structure this out is a top of the funnel that focuses on very, very affordable videos that the only thing that you're trying to do is make sure that they watch part of the video. And after they watch part of the video, then you ask them if they would like to join or make a purchase, right? So you only want to do an offer after that. And when you see that kind of strategy, what you realize is that type of top of funnel was able to get our lead costs down below $13, down to $11. And then what we were able to do is what we call step two, is after they've watched videos and they've became a lead, but they haven't booked an appointment yet, you want to retarget that same person again and put some different videos in front of them and get them to book that appointment. So we were able to get the same person back in the door on round two for just $13 to book an appointment. Now, when this happens, we're seeing virtually 100% of these people book an appointment and show up for an appointment. So this is a tremendous way to lower your cost of appointment or your client acquisition cost. And we focused on that. And then you might notice, let's go find it. We're going to have a bottom of the funnel where as they become a lead and they scheduled an appointment, but they didn't show up to the appointment, how do we get them back in the door and without having to go through the lead generation side? How do we talk to them in a way that says, I know that you're already interested. I know you filled out a form. I know you looked at the calendar to build something, but you're still questioning. So here we're really overcoming objections, and we've got our major 7 overcoming objection videos that happen at this place. And the outcome of this is they go straight to booking an appointment with you. And there is no lead to booked appointment. They're already a lead, so it's straight to booked appointment. And that's round number 3. And you'll notice that we've ran this over 100 different campaigns. It works again and again and again. We learned this system from people that are very, very successful, 7 and 8 figure business strategies. And this is what they're doing at that level. And it's just getting amazing results for us. So you'll notice that some of what we're focusing on is power clips to build an audience. And what we're able to do is build an audience for almost a nickel. We're able to find out if that person is truly interested in life insurance. And then you make it smaller. Are they interested in final expenses, mortgage protection, IULs, infinite banking, whole life, term, cashback term, or annuities, right? So every single strategy has to have its own set of videos, and then you can make sure that they're the exact person. Now, we set up retargeting pixels so that we can track the data that we're using and then go back out and retarget the people that we think are the most likely to buy from us, right? So even though there were about 50,000 people that watched 1 minute worth of video, it cuts in half. Only 25,000 people would watch 2 minutes worth of video. Only 13,000 people would watch 3 minutes worth of video, and only 8,000 people would watch 4 minutes or more than 4 minutes worth of video, right? So everybody has their own unique strategy, but what we're seeing that works starting good is somebody that'll watch 2 minutes worth of your video is showing a reasonably good interest in your product, right? So we would retarget those 25,000 people and really make sure to put more videos out in front of them and get them to become an offer. And so this is how this part of it works. And then after we get past the power clips, we start focusing on actual insurance products. Like you'll notice right here, this is an annuity campaign that we ran where everybody in here is looking at buying an annuity. So we began focusing on these 32,000 people saw the introduction of the video. 800 of them would watch 1 minute of it, but 300 of them would watch 2 minutes or longer. 100 of them would watch 3 minutes, and 82 of them would watch all 4 or 5 minutes worth of video. So what we were able to do for this client is get in front of these 300 people. We've already got their name, we've got their email, and now all we got to do is get them to trust this specific life insurance agent and to retarget and put an ad out in front of them. So this is the power of doing it by video, doing it by retargeting, and doing it by a top of the funnel, middle of the funnel, bottom of the funnel structure. On our third thing that we're going to help everybody with, it will be to build out a correct advertisement strategy so that you can go do this for yourself, or if you need us to, we're happy to help you do it. Now, what it'll look like from a lead generation standpoint, once we get down here, you'll see for this final expense and IUL campaign, we were able to get this one life insurance agent about $14 leads, and she got more than enough leads. And you'll notice mathematically that 1 out of 4 of those leads was booking an appointment right off the bat. And so this was a tremendous win. And she ultimately, out of those 51 appointments, she ended up making over $40,000 for the month. And it was a very successful, purchase for her. So she turned, let's say, almost $4,000. She turned that into $40,000 on her very first ad campaign. It took about 30 days. And then she had some follow-ups into month number 2. But this is a very successful purchase. Now, this was working on mortgage protection, and we were able to get the lead cost really low on mortgage protection here, down below $7. And once again, you'll see that we had a tremendous appointment booking rate. Let's see what the exact number is. So about 1 out of 5 leads, 20%, were booking right away. And this means no cold calling, no dials, no chasing them down. This is just these people are booking their own appointments. And so you'll notice this was doing really good. And if we just scroll through by appointments, and we began tracking appointments. Now, this is an IUL campaign that we ran where we started implementing Vince Reed and Laurel Porty's strategy. So over the last year, we got better as a company, and we were able to immediately benefit another person. So these are $10,000 annual premium IUL leads that are coming in, where we wrote a very specific video strategy that says you must be within this age and you must be ready to put $10,000 into your IUL on day 1. And if you're that type of person, here's the calendar and you can book an appointment with this guy. So You'll notice here that by using this specific strategy, we were able to get about a 70% booking rate right off the bat, which we're so in love with that result, because those 70 points, each one of those appointments is worth about $10,000 annual premium. And if you do the math on that, uh, 70 people, $10,000 annual premium. This one campaign was about a $700,000 annual premium campaign. And again, not everybody has the same closing rate, but this is why if you focus on your closing rate, you should have made about $175,000 in those 2 months, right? So not a terrible strategy for IUL, to get 175 in 2 months. That would have been on the $1 million mark for this campaign. Again, this is the ads strategy for it, but this does not guarantee that you know how to sell life insurance or that you can overcome objections. This is just the ability to get them to the appointment. So I don't want to give anybody the impression that this is people paying. I want to give the impression that this is people that know exactly what they're showing up to the meeting for, and it's still your responsibility to overcome objections and to ultimately prove to them that your IUL strategy is worth the value for them. So this is a big plus. And if you just go down through here, you'll notice over and over and over, we're getting over 25% booking rate every single time, right? No matter which campaign we're running, 1 out of 4, 1 out of 5 leads at the extreme will consistently be booking an appointment. Then you have to worry about the cost of appointment and the client acquisition cost. Let's do quick math on that. So let's say that you're consistently getting $20 leads, and every 5 leads is a booked appointment. And so it's about $100 um, for those 5 leads to book one appointment. Now, you have a 25% closing average, so it's going to take 4 appointments for you to make a sale. And what that really looks like is you've spent $400 in paid ads to make one sale. Now, most life insurance agents, even if you're writing a final expense policy for about $86 annual premium, you're making about 1032. I work with really good contract levels. So let's say that you've got a 110% commission on that, but you only get paid the first 9 months up front. So you're making 851 and it costs you $400 in paid ads, but you're net positive 451 and you've actually doubled your money, right? So you're doubling your money right here, at every 5 leads is a booked appointment. Now, we're going to refine that so that a $20 lead every 4 appointments, every 4 leads is a booked appointment, right? 1 out of 4, and then still at 25%, or it takes 4 of them, right? So $80 for 1 lead, 4 leads. So it's $320, but you're going to write and you're going to collect 851 up front, right? So this is your paid in advance. So you're net positive $500 for a $320 client acquisition cost. This is a tremendous way to almost triple your money now. But what we strongly encourage people before you begin paid ads to get your closing rate up to 33%. Here's why. So if we're getting $20 leads and every 4 leads is a booked appointment, and it takes you 3 appointments to make a sale, your appointment cost is 240 and you still made 851 on that sale and you made 600 on 241, right? So you are now 3x your money. And you can do this all day long. And what we do next is we supercharge your calendar. So if you know that every 3 appointments is going to be a sale and you're doing 12 appointments a day, every 3 appointments is a sale, you're going to make 4 sales per day and you're making 531 per sale. So you're about $2,000 in profit every day, 5 days a week, 4 weeks in a month. So this is putting you right at the $500,000 mark a year. And this is with final expense. And this is with a reasonably low premium. So it's not like you're writing $100 premiums or, one plus. So even with our entry level final expense leads, we're able to get people over $500,000 provided that they've got their sales closing rate down pat, right? And where we lose people, the biggest objection that I hear, and it's a big one, I'm not saying it's a small one, the biggest objection I hear is the cost that they're paying out of pocket, right? So everybody gets terrified at the cost that they're spending. So $20 a lead, every 4 leads is a booked appointment, and you're trying to get 12 booked appointments a day. So the people that will never succeed and scale and grow, I'm sorry, please forgive me, but the people that are terrified about spending $1,000 a day on ads are the people that will not make $500,000 a year in sales, right? So it's extremely measurable, back to back, because they look at this and they go, "Oh my God, I've spent $5,000 this week on ads, and if I do that, I'm going to end up spending like $250,000 on ads this year." And you're like, "Yeah, you're gonna spend $250,000 in ads this year." And they're like, "I don't want to spend that much money in ads." And this is where we personally get into this beautiful conversation. And I'm like, you can't look at the cost. Like, you have to look at the value. So we know that the value is, all right, take this number, 250, don't forget it. So if you write on average an $86 a month policy, it's 1,000. You've got a 110% contract. You've got a 110% contract. So you're going to get paid about 1135. You're not going to get paid everything up front. You get paid 9 months in advance, and then months 10, 11, and 12 get paid on the back end. So this is what you actually touch up front. All 851. So 851, and you're able to do 4 of these a day. So yes, you spent $1,000 this day, but you made $2,400 profit. And then if you do this 5 days a week, so you really made $17,000 for the week before you subtracted your cost of ads, right? So you do that for all 52 weeks. You've actually made 885 total, but you're subtracting the 250, and that only leaves you with 600,000, right? So Everybody gets caught up on it costs $250,000 worth of ads to get here, but they're not focused on their net positive 600,000 to the good, right? Well, the second thing is you're going to have the same 1135, and then you're going to minus 851 because you got that up front. So you're left with the 284 that's going to get paid in months 10, 11, and 12. So this is happening 4 times a day, and that's happening 5 days a week, and that's happening 52 weeks a year. So then months 10, 11, and 12 get paid on the back end at the end of the same year, provided that the policy doesn't collapse. So what you realize is this money that comes in at the end of the year is the same amount or more money needed for paid ads. So your paid ads were virtually free now, and you still got to live on the $600,000 that was coming in. Now, I don't know what your chargeback rate is. Maybe your chargeback rate is 50%. Who knows? 50%. So, but still, what you're left with at the end of the year is plus $300,000. That you're actually left with a net positive of $300,000 after your expenses, after your ads, after everything. So this is where we focus on people scaling through the roof to get over that $250,000 hump. And once you get there, now we got to show you how to invest, work on a retirement, work on an exit strategy, and I'm going to do that in the next video.